how do I start this video? So let me just start out by saying this. You know, in life there are fails. Then there are epic fails. And then there is what I have been trying to do with keto for the past 3 weeks. So, maybe I should take you guys back to the beginning and catch you up. So, I failed epically. Like, to the point of like, there hasn't been kind of like an epicness of it, like even put out there. Like this, it's just been so epic, I can't even explain it. As I told you guys, I was going to start this journey with keto. Essentially, what keto is, it's a way of eating where you're basically taking your carbs down to the absolute bare minimum. And this is cutting out breads, pastas, many fruits. I mean, obviously, lots and lots and lots of stuff. So in my mind, I was like, this is great. This is going to work. Let's just start cutting out all this stuff and let's hit it. I went as far as to, you know, join some Facebook groups and ask questions, and I've talked to people who have done keto and they've loved it and this and that and blah, 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 blah. I failed. And not even like a little fail. I turned into a demon at times. So basically, I was real good. The very first weekend that I tried this, I started on a Friday. So I went Friday and Saturday, and I had no carbs. Or I had the very limited number of carbs, because there's obviously carbs in everything, in one way or another. So I was eating about 30 carbs a day, plus my proteins, plus my fats. And I wasn't feeling the best, you know, because obviously you're very dependent on carbs, and that's in your system, and you have to get it out. Fast forward to Sunday. Now I go into work on Sundays. I go later in the day, so that way I can go to church in the mornings. And then I get to work, and the demon in me comes out because I haven't had carbs or really a ton of sugars. And I had an addiction crash that was so severe. I'm so glad that my desk is kind of isolated in our office, because I came over and almost had the shakes. Like, you would have seen me. I was like, this is crazy. My head was pounding to the point of like, I'm going to shake this monitor until it breaks. So I ended up having a soda. I took some ibuprofen. I started to feel better. The headache went away. Fail number 1. Fail number 2. Almost the same scenario. I started on a Thursday. I made it through the entire night. I woke up on Friday morning though with just feeling so painful in my head. Like, I had a headache. I didn't feel good. I didn't feel like myself. It was so weird. And it was all me, like cutting carbs, cutting breads, all this stuff. And what did I do? I went and had Taco Bell, which is, you guys know, that's like they're in Chick-fil-A. Like, I'm telling you, if they ever want to sponsor a video, your girl's got you covered. I went and had Taco Bell. Then the third fail actually kind of did involve Taco Bell again, but it was again the same thing. I tried to do the carb thing. I was like, I'm going to get this right. And I started like easing myself out of carbs. I cut out all like carbonated drinks, and I was still drinking soda, but I was drinking like Diet A&W root beer, and I wasn't using sugar in my tea and coffee. I was using Splenda, or what, I can't remember which one it is that has no carbs, things like that. So I started slow, and I still did it again. I had another headache. I didn't feel good. I didn't like the way I felt. I wanted bread. I wanted pasta. And I went through Taco Bell, and the Taco Bell nacho fries are back. Ah! By the way, side note, I am going to be obviously losing weight. I'm still going to eat those cheese fries or those nacho fries. Those nacho fries are so good. So I failed 3 times over the course of about 3 weeks. This all didn't just happen over like 5 days. I spaced it out. When I started this series and started doing YouTube, I said, I'm gonna record this journey, the goods, the bads, the uglies. I didn't realize that I would have so many uglies in such a short amount of time. I'm amazing. Go me. I basically just said, I need to forget this for a little while. I need to stop for a minute and I need to reevaluate this. So I actually talked to a couple of friends at work, and I'm gonna go do something that I probably should have done in the beginning. I have been recommended a primary care physician here in the Tampa area. So I am gonna go see a very nice lady and have her do a head to toe once over. I'm gonna tell her, like, do whatever we need to do, blood work, whatever. Let's evaluate me, because I have said on here, you know, always consult your primary care physician before starting anything, and I probably need to do the same. So I am going to go see a primary care physician here in the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, it's going to be a couple of weeks before I can get in, but I am going to go see her. In the meantime, I'm basically just going to go back to my tried and true. It didn't really help me lose weight before, but it did help me feel good, which was clean eating, which is actually probably, out of everything that you're going to do, the easiest thing that you can do, because you're not really eliminating foods per se. You're just eliminating processed foods. So for example, no white breads, no white pastas. You can have whole grain bread or whole grain pasta. You can still have all the things that I love, which is pastas and tacos and all that good stuff. Just switch it out for whole grain. Basically cooking at home. So the example that I usually give for clean eating is, if you're making spaghetti, to basically just make it like a normal person, you use white pasta and you use whatever canned jar of tomato sauce. With clean eating, use whole grain pasta and make the sauce from scratch, which is actually the way that I make it anyway. It's the way my mom taught me how to do it, with using tomatoes and the spices and all that stuff and making it myself. So it's actually not going to be a huge deal for me. I can eat as many vegetables, I can eat fruits, I can eat lean meats. It just makes the most sense for right now, until I talk to a doctor and let a doctor put me on something that's going to work. Because obviously I'm grabbing at straws here. I'm going through Pinterest and finding weight loss techniques and doing this and doing that, when I really need to be talking to a doctor and figuring out exactly how to do this. So your girl is a loser, but it's okay, because I was about to say you're supposed to learn from your failures, but I didn't want to learn from this failure. I wanted this to work, and I've been a little frustrated with myself that it hasn't, hence the reason I haven't picked up the camera, because I'm like, this is ridiculous. I have literally deleted 3 different beginnings of vlogs. I just deleted them off of this SD card because I was like, you know what, I cannot even put these on here, because I started filming at the beginning of all 3 of these different days, and you know, whether it was a day or a course of days, I started filming at the beginning. I just went ahead and deleted all the footage because there's no point, because I failed at all of them. So I just said, forget it. Like, I'm not even gonna put it out there because they didn't work. Oh. Oh. I remember, sort of squirrel, but not. I remember in 10th grade English, we had our whole textbook of different stories we had to read. But I remember that there was one story about this town or whatever that had a like, I guess it was like kind of like an ice cream store open, and people were going in there because it was like the best ice cream they'd ever tasted, and it had all these addictive qualities, and people were just like going because it was so amazing. And then everybody started to get really heavy and really fat. And then this other company came to town where you basically got into this, I don't know, kind of like a tube from like that went from here down, and it was like a machine, and it ran for 3 or so minutes, and when you came out you were perfectly skinny again. It like melted all the fat and made you very, you know, just very thin again. And it was like a rotating like cycle of abuse. So people would go and buy all the ice cream from this place and get really heavy, and then they'd go lose all of the weight. I don't mind to put in the work because, you know, I've been doing the ice cream shop thing, but there are times that I do wish there was a machine that I could get in that could just suck all the fat off. Oh, but it's not possible. The technology has not been invented. If it has been invented and that hasn't been shared with the world, rude. Somebody needs to share. But I'm going to keep you guys abreast a little bit more as to what's going on. I know I haven't uploaded lately, but it's really just been because I've been I was disappointed in myself that the keto thing didn't work, and I really didn't get to talk about it or show you guys anything because I basically didn't last long enough to do it. But at the same time, I kind of am glad that I failed at it because I need to figure out what's going to be the best for me, you know, moving forward. And this probably, if this hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have went to a doctor. And that really needs to be what I do first. I need to go see a doctor, let her like tell me what to do, figure things out, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, we'll go from there. So hopefully there'll be another update soon. Again, I'm not getting into the doctor for a couple of weeks, but I at least wanted to check in and say hi. And yes, my channel is still here, but I just had to fail a little bit first. So thank you guys for coming on this journey with me. I know a few of you have really been intensely watching this, and I appreciate it more than you know. So keep the questions coming. Ask me how I'm doing. I get text messages, you know, all the time saying you're doing good, and it's like, well, maybe not over the past few weeks. So I will keep you guys updated a little bit more often. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. How do I explain keto? I know, it's when you can't eat anything good. That's what I turned into. I turned into a demon. Does anybody ever notice when you're like on a diet, those tasty videos like seem to pop up even more in your Facebook recommended? Ugh.